The cameras were flashing, the crowd was loud, and yet somehow, none of that mattered. Because in one quiet, blink and you miss it moment, Kylie Jenner made a move that has the entire internet spiraling. She ignored everything around her, just to cling closer to Timothée Chalamet. And yeah, people are saying she's down bad. Before we dive deeper, make sure you hit that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments, because what you're about to see might completely change how you look at this relationship. It all started at what should have been a routine public appearance, another night, another celebrity moment, another wave of flashing cameras. But something felt different. Fans quickly noticed that Kylie Jenner, who's usually hyper-aware of every angle, every lens, every frame, suddenly wasn't playing the game. No poses. No signature smirks. No calculated glances. Instead, all eyes shifted to her body language. Subtle at first, almost too subtle. A lean here. A glance there. And then it happened, she moved closer to Timothee, almost instinctively, like the rest of the world had disappeared. No hesitation. No performance. Just raw, unfiltered connection. And that's when social media exploded. Because this wasn't just another celebrity couple doing their usual thing. This felt different. Fans began replaying the clips over and over again, analyzing every second, every micro-expression, every tiny detail. Was Kylie really ignoring the cameras? Or was this the most effortless flex of confidence we've ever seen? Think about it. This is Kylie Jenner, someone who built an empire partly off controlling her image. Every photo, every appearance, every move is usually strategic. So when she suddenly drops that awareness, even for a moment, people notice. And then there's Timothée Chalamet. The internet's favorite low-key heartthrob. The guy who's known for being private, artistic, and completely unpredictable when it comes to relationships. He's not the typical Hollywood boyfriend, and maybe that's exactly the point. Because what we're seeing here might not just be affection. It might be something deeper. Something real. But here's where things get even more interesting. Halfway through the event, insiders claim the dynamic shifted even further. Kylie wasn't just close to Timothee, she was fully locked in. Conversations happening around them? Ignored. Cameras inches away? Didn't matter. It was like they were in their own world, and that's not something you fake easily. Now pause for a second. Because this is where the narrative splits. Some fans are saying this is proof Kylie is completely smitten, like, head over heels, can't hide it kind of energy. Others believe it's a power move, a subtle way of showing that she doesn't need to perform anymore. That she's comfortable enough to just be present. But then comes the question nobody can ignore. Is Timothee feeling the same way? Watch closely, and you'll notice something fascinating. While Kylie leans in, Timothee doesn't pull away. In fact, he matches her energy, but in his own understated way. No grand gestures. No dramatic displays. Just quiet acceptance. Subtle reciprocation. And that contrast? That's what's driving the internet crazy. Because it creates tension. Mystery. A dynamic that feels unscripted in a world where everything is usually staged. At one point, Kylie appears to completely forget where she is, resting closer, almost instinctively seeking comfort. It's the kind of moment that feels too real to be PR, too natural to be planned. And just like that, the narrative flips again. Maybe she's not down bad in a desperate way. Maybe she's just finally relaxed. But then again, when has Kylie Jenner ever looked this unguarded in public? That's the real question. As the night went on, the energy didn't fade, it intensified. The clips kept circulating. The comments kept pouring in. And the theories? They got wilder. Some say this is the softest we've ever seen Kylie. Others argue it's the strongest, because letting your guard down like that, especially in front of millions, takes a different kind of confidence. And Timothee? He remains the wild card. Because while Kylie's actions are loud in their subtlety, his are quiet in their impact. He doesn't need to do much, just being there, fully present, seems to be enough. And maybe that's exactly why this works. No over-the-top displays. No forced chemistry. Just two people existing in the same space, completely tuned into each other. By the end of the night, one thing was clear. This wasn't just another celebrity sighting. It was a moment. A small, fleeting, almost accidental moment that somehow revealed more than any official statement ever could. And that's the payoff. Because in a world obsessed with perfection, what people really crave is authenticity. And whether you believe Kylie Jenner is down bad or simply being real for once, you can't deny this. She didn't care about the cameras. She didn't care about the headlines. For a brief second, she only cared about him. So now we're leaving it to you. What do you think is really going on here? Is Kylie Jenner completely smitten with Timothée Chalamet, or are we all reading too much into a single moment? Drop your opinion below, hit like if you want more deep dives like this, and don't forget to subscribe, because this story? It's far from over. And just when people thought the moment had passed, a new wave of clips surfaced, and suddenly, the conversation wasn't slowing down, it was escalating. Because the more people watched, the more details they started to notice. A slight shift in Kylie's posture. The way her hand lingered just a second longer than expected. The subtle way she angled her body toward Timothée Chalamet, like he was the only fixed point in a chaotic room. These weren't big, dramatic gestures, but that's exactly why they hit harder. They felt real. And that's rare. Especially for someone like Kylie Jenner, whose entire public image has been built on precision, control, and knowing exactly how to command attention. But here, she wasn't commanding anything. If anything, she was surrendering to the moment. And people noticed. Fans started stitching together clips, zooming in, slowing things down, pointing out patterns. "Look at this," one user wrote. "She literally forgets the camera is there." Another said, "This is the most human I've ever seen her." But then, the tone shifted again. Because not everyone was convinced. Some critics argued that this could be the most calculated move of all. That in an era where authenticity sells more than perfection, what better strategy than appearing completely unbothered? Completely in love? Completely off guard? And that's where things get complicated. Because now we're not just watching a moment, we're questioning it. Is this real emotion, or the illusion of it? But here's the twist that keeps pulling people back in. If it is an act, it's a flawless one. Because even body language experts, yes, people actually started analyzing this, pointed out that the micro-expressions didn't line up with performance. The way Kylie's gaze softens when she looks at Timothee. The way her shoulders drop, her posture relaxes. These are involuntary signals. Hard to fake. Even harder to sustain. And then there's Timothee. Because while Kylie's behavior is sparking debates, his reactions are fueling an entirely different conversation. He doesn't dominate the moment. He doesn't pull focus. But he also doesn't disengage. Instead, he meets her halfway, subtly, quietly, but consistently. And that consistency? That's what people are locking onto. At one point in the footage, there's a barely noticeable exchange, a look, a pause, a shared moment that doesn't need words. It lasts maybe 2 seconds. But somehow, it says everything. And that's when the internet collectively leaned in. Because those are the moments you can't script. Those are the moments that break through the noise. And suddenly, this isn't just about Kylie Jenner ignoring the cameras. It's about what happens when someone who's always been on, finally switches off. But here's where the tension builds even further. Because with every new clip, every new angle, every new theory, expectations start rising. People want confirmation. They want a statement. A post. Something definitive. But they're not getting it. And that silence? It's deafening. Because in today's world, silence is rarely accidental, especially at this level of fame. So now the question becomes, are they choosing to stay quiet, or is there something they don't want to say? Some insiders suggest that this dynamic, this low-key, almost hidden connection, is intentional. That both Kylie and Timothee are actively avoiding the typical celebrity playbook. No overexposure. No forced narratives. Just moments, when they happen. And if that's true, then what we're seeing isn't just a relationship. It's a shift. A shift away from curated perfection, towards something that feels unpredictable. Unfiltered. Real. But not everyone is buying into that idea. Because for every fan who believes this is genuine, there's another who sees it as too perfect. Too timely. Too convenient. And that's the paradox. The more natural it looks, the more people question it. So where does that leave us? Right back in that moment. Kylie Jenner, surrounded by flashing lights, global attention, and endless expectations, choosing, even if just for a second, to ignore all of it. And instead, choosing him. Not the cameras. Not the audience. Not the image. Him. And maybe that's why this is hitting so hard. Because underneath all the speculation, all the analysis, all the noise, there's something undeniably compelling about watching someone drop their guard. Even briefly. Even imperfectly. Even if we don't fully understand it. As more footage continues to surface, one thing is becoming impossible to ignore: the pattern isn't breaking. If anything, it's getting stronger. The closeness. The comfort. The quiet synchronization between Kylie and Timothee. It's not fading with time or attention. It's holding steady. And that's not what people expected. Because usually, moments like this burn fast and disappear. But this one? It's lingering. Growing. Evolving. And the longer it lasts, the harder it becomes to dismiss. So now we're left with something bigger than a viral clip. We're watching a narrative unfold in real time. No script. No confirmation. Just fragments of reality, stitched together by millions of eyes trying to make sense of it. And maybe that's the real reason this story isn't going anywhere. Because it taps into something deeper than celebrity gossip. It taps into curiosity. Into the need to understand what's real and what's not. And into that universal question we all keep asking. When someone lets their guard down like that, what does it really mean? So stay close, because if this moment was just the beginning, what comes next might change everything. And just when it felt like we had reached the peak of speculation, the story found another gear. Because the internet didn't just move on. It zoomed in deeper. New angles. New clips. New slowed-down footage started circulating, and suddenly, what looked like a simple moment began revealing layers people hadn't noticed before. Every frame became evidence. Every second, a new clue. And once again, all eyes locked onto Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. But this time, it wasn't just about her leaning in. It was about timing. Because if you watch closely, really closely, you'll notice something almost cinematic. Kylie doesn't immediately move toward Timothee. There's a pause. A beat. A moment where she scans the room, acknowledges the chaos, the noise, the presence of cameras, and then chooses. She chooses him. That split-second decision? That's what's driving people wild. Because it suggests awareness, followed by intention. And that changes everything. Now the narrative isn't just she ignored the cameras. It's she knew the cameras were there, and still didn't care. That distinction? Massive. Because it transforms the moment from accidental into deliberate. And that's where the tension spikes again. Is that confidence? Is that vulnerability? Or is that something even more powerful, a complete shift in priorities? Meanwhile, Timothee's role in all of this is becoming harder to ignore. Because while Kylie's actions are drawing the headlines, his reactions are quietly shaping the story. There's a calmness to him. A steadiness. He doesn't overreact. He doesn't amplify the moment. He absorbs it. And in doing so, he anchors it. At one point, another blink and you miss it detail, he subtly adjusts his stance to close the distance between them. It's not dramatic. It's not flashy. But it's there. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's when the internet collectively shifted from "is Kylie down bad?" to a much bigger question. Are they both in this, deeper than we thought? Because suddenly, the energy feels mutual. Balanced. Unspoken, but understood. And that kind of dynamic? It doesn't happen by accident. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Because as the clips kept gaining traction, something else started happening. People began comparing this version of Kylie to her past. The way she carried herself in previous relationships. The way she interacted in front of cameras. The level of control, the polish, the almost untouchable aura she maintained. And then they looked at this. This softer, quieter, more grounded version. And the contrast? It's impossible to ignore. Some fans are calling it growth. Others are calling it transformation. And a few are even saying this might be the most authentic phase of Kylie Jenner we've ever witnessed. But not everyone is convinced. Because with change comes skepticism. And for some, this shift feels too sudden. Too perfectly timed. Too aligned with a narrative that the public is ready to believe. And that's where the debate intensifies again. Because now, it's not just about what we're seeing. It's about what we're choosing to believe. But then, right when the conversation starts to feel like it's going in circles, another moment drops. Another clip. Another angle. And this one? It hits differently. In this footage, Kylie isn't just leaning in, she's fully relaxed. Shoulders down. Expression softened. No tension. No performance. And for a brief second, she smiles. Not the polished, camera-ready smile people are used to. Something smaller. Quieter. Realer. And Timothee? He notices. There's a micro-reaction, again, easy to miss, but it's there. A slight shift in his expression. A subtle acknowledgement. And just like that, the entire narrative tightens. Because now we're not just watching proximity. We're watching connection. And connection is a lot harder to fake. At this point, the internet is no longer just reacting. It's invested. Emotionally. Because whether people admit it or not, moments like this tap into something deeper. The idea that even in a world built on image and perception, something genuine can still slip through. Even if it's just for a second. Even if it's imperfect. And that's why the story keeps pulling people back in. Because it doesn't give clear answers. It doesn't wrap itself up neatly. It leaves space. For interpretation. For projection. For curiosity. And maybe that's the real hook. Not just what happened, but what it could mean. As the conversation continues to evolve, one thing becomes clear: this isn't fading anytime soon. Because every time it feels like the hype might die down, something new emerges. A new perspective. A new theory. A new detail that reshapes everything. And through it all, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet remain exactly where they've been since the beginning of this story. At the center of it. Unconfirmed. unexplained, but impossible to ignore. And maybe that's the most powerful part of all this. They're not chasing the narrative. They're not feeding it. They're simply existing within it. And somehow, that's enough to keep the entire world watching. So now, we're left with a moment that refuses to settle. A story that refuses to close. And a question that keeps getting louder the more we try to answer it. When someone who has everything to lose in the public eye chooses, even briefly, to let it all go, what does that really say about how they feel? Because if this is what down bad looks like, it might not be weakness. It might just be the most honest thing we've seen all year. And just when it seemed like every possible angle had already been dissected, something unexpected happened. The silence from Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet didn't break. No clarification. No denial. No playful social media post to clear things up. Nothing. And in today's hyper-connected world, that kind of silence doesn't calm the conversation. It fuels it. Because now, people aren't just analyzing what they saw. They're analyzing what isn't being said. Think about it. Most celebrity moments like this follow a pattern. A clip goes viral, headlines explode, and within hours, maybe days, you get a response. A statement, a subtle hint, something to steer the narrative. But this is different. Because the longer they stay quiet, the more the moment grows on its own. And that's exactly what's happening. The footage is evolving into something bigger than itself. It's no longer just about a lean, a glance, or a quiet interaction. It's becoming symbolic of a shift, of a possibility, of something that feels almost out of place in a world built on constant performance. And that's why people can't look away. Because this isn't just content anymore. It's a puzzle. One that feels just incomplete enough to keep everyone hooked. And right at the center of that puzzle is a question that keeps resurfacing. What changed? Because if you rewind the timeline, not just days, but months, you start to see a contrast that's hard to ignore. The way Kylie used to engage in public settings versus now. The way she held herself, the energy she projected, the almost invisible barrier she maintained between herself and everyone else. And now? That barrier looks thinner. Maybe even gone. And people are noticing that shift more than anything else. Not just what she did, but how different it felt. And then, just when the narrative seems to settle into that idea, growth, change, evolution, another theory starts gaining traction. What if this isn't about Kylie at all? What if this is about Timothee? Because if you really break it down, his presence introduces something entirely new into her world. He doesn't play by the same rules. He doesn't operate within the same expectations. He's not known for spectacle or overexposure. He's known for being unpredictable, grounded, detached from the usual noise. And maybe, just maybe, that energy is influencing more than we realize. Because what we're seeing could be the result of two completely different worlds colliding. One built on visibility. The other on subtlety. And somewhere in the middle, something real might be forming. But here's where the tension rises again. Because not everyone believes in that narrative. Some are starting to push back harder than ever, arguing that this entire situation is being overanalyzed to the extreme. That a single moment, no matter how genuine it looks, can't define a relationship. Can't confirm emotions. Can't tell the full story. And they're not wrong. But here's the catch. It's not just one moment anymore. It's a series. A pattern. A collection of small, consistent signals that, when put together, start to paint a picture that's difficult to ignore. And that's what keeps pulling people back in. Because humans are wired to find meaning in patterns. Even when those patterns are subtle. Even when they're incomplete. And especially when they involve people we feel like we know. So now, the conversation isn't just about whether Kylie is down bad. It's about whether we're witnessing something that doesn't happen very often in the public eye. A relationship that isn't being performed. And that idea? It's both fascinating and unsettling. Because it challenges everything people think they understand about celebrity culture. If this is real, then it means not everything is curated. Not everything is controlled. Not everything is designed for public consumption. And that possibility? It changes the way people watch. The way they interpret. The way they engage. But then, just as that thought starts to settle in, another layer emerges. Because some viewers have started focusing not on Kylie, not on Timothee, but on the environment around them. The chaos. The cameras. The noise. And how, despite all of it, the two of them seem almost unaffected. And that contrast? It's powerful. Because it highlights just how isolated their interaction feels, even in a crowded, high-pressure space. At one point in the footage, there's a noticeable shift in the crowd's energy. Movement, flashes, people trying to get closer. And yet, Kylie doesn't flinch. She doesn't reset. She doesn't turn it on for the cameras. She stays exactly where she is. Close to Timothee. Focused. Present. And that consistency? It's what's making this moment stick. Because if it were just a quick, fleeting interaction, it would have faded by now. But it didn't. It held. And in doing so, it created something rare. Continuity. And continuity is what turns moments into narratives. So now, we're no longer asking, what happened? We're asking, what does this mean long-term? Is this the beginning of a more open, more visible chapter in their relationship? Or is this just a rare glimpse into something that will remain mostly private? And maybe the most intriguing part is, we don't have the answer. Not yet. Because for all the analysis, all the theories, all the slow-motion breakdowns and frame-by-frame dissections, the truth is still out of reach. And that's exactly why the story keeps growing. Because as long as there's no confirmation, no closure, no definitive explanation, the curiosity stays alive. And in a world where attention moves fast and stories fade even faster, that kind of staying power? It's almost impossible to achieve. But somehow, this moment did it. And now, it's not just a viral clip. It's a conversation. An ongoing one. That keeps evolving with every new perspective, every new detail, every new pair of eyes that watches it and sees something slightly different. So maybe the real takeaway isn't whether Kylie Jenner is down bad or not. Maybe it's this. For one brief, unguarded stretch of time, she stopped performing. She stopped calculating. She stopped controlling the narrative. And whether that was intentional or not, it revealed something people don't get to see very often. Something quieter. Something softer. Something real. And in the end, that might be the most powerful move she could have made without saying a single word. And just when it felt like the conversation had finally reached its saturation point, something even more subtle, but somehow more powerful, started to take over. The way people were feeling about the moment began to shift. Because at first, it was all excitement. Shock. Curiosity. The usual cycle of viral celebrity content. But now, it's different. Now it's personal. People aren't just watching Kylie Jenner anymore. They're relating to her. And that changes everything. Because suddenly, this isn't just about a billionaire beauty mogul at a high-profile event. It's about a woman who, for a brief moment, looked like she forgot the world was watching, because she was focused on someone who mattered to her. And that feeling? It's universal. That's why the clip keeps resurfacing. that's why people keep going back to it, even after seeing it 100 times. Because beneath all the glamour, all the speculation, all the analysis, there's something incredibly human happening. And humans recognize that. But here's where the narrative tightens again. Because just as more people start leaning into that emotional angle, seeing this as a rare glimpse of authenticity, another wave of skepticism crashes in. Harder than before. Some viewers are now questioning not just the moment, but the timing of its virality. Why this clip? Why now? Why did this specific interaction blow up, when countless other celebrity moments pass by unnoticed? And that line of thinking opens up a completely different layer of the story. Because in the digital age, virality isn't always organic. Sometimes, it's amplified, pushed, strategically circulated. And that possibility introduces doubt. Not necessarily about the moment itself, but about how it reached us. But even with that doubt, something doesn't quite add up. Because no amount of algorithmic push can fake the kind of emotional reaction this clip is getting. People aren't just liking it. They're dissecting it, debating it, projecting their own experiences onto it.